Hey man, you watching Cold Red with the one and only big homie. My big homie, KB. It's up there and it's stuck there. Boom!
Ricardo or more. Drink like a boss.
Hey, what up? We in Cold Red. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm your host, the Playmaker, and today we got a very, very special guest in the building. 10 G's, what up?
Man, how you doing, man? It's an honor.
Man, it's definitely an honor for me as well to have you sitting on the couch. I want to thank you for taking time out your busy schedule.
Man, thanks for having me, man.
I got some in-depth questions I'd like to ask you. Ready?
Yeah.
Well, let's get right to it. So, 10, for the people that don't know, tell them a little bit about you and where you come from.
Well, I was born and raised in the notorious Highland Park Projects, 1901 West McKinley, Milwaukee born and bred, went to school here, had kids here. This is my old stomping ground.
You grew up here, had kids here, and eventually went to prison here, huh?
Yeah.
All right. But there was a time before the kids, before the prison.
Yeah.
What was life growing up for you here?
Life was sweet. We was poor, but you couldn't feel it. It was just a wholesome feeling. Family all around. Yeah, the projects was about family back then, man. So like we grew up, every day was just another adventure. You know, we was, man, making go-karts and stealing root bars and getting into a lot of mischievous things that kids do.
So, growing up in the Highland Park projects,
Yeah.
what were some of your most fondest memories?
Some of my most fondest memories is being at the center, at the King Center or the Highland Park Center, balling with the guys, boxing with the guys, just shooting the gift.
So you grew up in the 80s?
Yeah, I grew up in the 80s. I'm an 80s baby. Yes, sir.
So the majority of your time in the 80s was spent in the Highland Park projects?
Highland Park and Hillside, when my mama moved out in 85, 86, we moved over to Hillside, but I used to travel every day back and forth.
So you stayed in some of the most infamous sections of the city.
Yeah.
Hillside, Highland Park was some of the most notorious areas in
Yes.
the city.
Yes, especially back then.
So what was life like?
Oh, man. I guess for growing up at that age and being curious about the world, you know, we was traveling, we was going to the east side, we was going down to the palace. Man, we was just having fun, but we was unaware of what was going on, though. We was kids, and there was a lot of dangerous things going on in the hood. Like it was crazy.
85, 86. Right in the smack middle of the crack era.
Yeah.
How did that affect you coming up?
Well, I was unconscious to drugs until my mom's came home. One night she was at the interns, and a guy slipped some GBH or GBC on her, and she came back. That was my first time when I was really conscious about what drugs do to you and the effect during the crack era. You know, my pops, he used to sell weed off an ice cream truck. And in 86, I didn't see no walkers. I ain't see no hypes walking around, but I'm sure, you know, it just hadn't hit Milwaukee yet. Because I don't really believe that the scene hit Milwaukee until 1990.
Okay.
The 89, the end of 89, that's when crack showed up in Milwaukee, and we was readily conscious about it.
You spoke about your pops,
Yes.
right? You said he sold weed off the ice cream truck. Was that one of your first introductions to you selling?
Yeah, it was my introduction to the hustle. My pops, he broke it down. He had like 20 or 30 vanilla bags in the ice cream truck, but we also sold ice cream, popcorn, and all those things. That was my first real entrepreneurial sit down right there that my pops that he didn't have with me, but he did have with me. It was unconscious because he had me working them packs, and he was moving a lot of weight.
So that had to be exciting as a kid.
Yeah, you think it's exciting. You think it's exciting, and I looked up to my pops, but he was a very older guy though. So we were so far in age that we didn't communicate. We didn't do what we were supposed to do as father and sons. We didn't do what we should have did, and I wish I could redo that. You
I
know,
mean, if you could redo it, you think the outcome would have been different?
that's the question nobody knows. Only Allah know that question. I wish that me and him could have had a conversation about life, about his experiences, and if he would have passed them experiences on to me, I would probably be a better man right now than I am today.
You came from the Highland Park projects. Is that where you caught your case at? Is that where everything went wrong?
No, no, everything went wrong in Ghost Town. Ghost Town was the genesis of everything. That's where it really got gangster, and we was toting heavy artillery. We was selling lots of drugs. Uh, Dying every day was a real option.
So Highland Park really birthed you,
Yes.
but in a sense, Ghost Town kind of made you, or destroyed you. What
Well,
did it do for you?
it molded me because there was a lot of experiences in Ghost Town on 19th and Wright. There was a lot of experiences that made up my character and developed me as a man. It made me stronger. That period in my life, I was very strong. I was very strong.
So you had. It sounds like you had a good career at hustling once you reached Ghost Town.
My uncle wouldn't say that.
What would he say? I mean,
Oh, he always called me a bad hustler, but we 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 was doing about 5 G's a day. We was hustling good, but we was young. Like we was 15 and 16, and my uncle and them, they were more advanced than us. They was a little bit more slicker.
so they were more advanced than you. You were doing 5 G's a day, right? So that was good money back then, right?
Absolutely. Back then.
For him to call you a bad hustler, would that have been motivational purposes or?
I don't know, man. My uncle motivated in different type of ways. He's an extraordinary individual himself. So he motivated in different type of ways, man. My family always been the key to my identity. I am my grandmama, and I would do anything to make her proud.
No doubt. Of course, with the great hustlers come the great stick up kids,
Yeah,
right? So you had the opportunity to become a great hustler, but you opted to go a different route. What made you make that life choice when you was already getting money so easy?
well, I guess it was the time that little Tracy Fitzgerald tried to rob me that morning. Tracy, a famous hustler in Milwaukee. Everybody know Tracy. He was paralyzed in the wheelchair. The leader of the 1-9 Deacons. He tried to rob me one morning. He pulled a 38 on me, and he was like, "Woo, give me your dope." And I was like, "Man, you got to be crazy. Like you sitting in the wheelchair with that little pistol. Don't you know what I do to you?" So that engendered something else in me. It brought out a different side of me, And I kept that. I done kept that persona for a long time. I did it in prison when I was the institutional coordinator for the Gangster Disciples. That has always been my structure.
So the moment Tracy tried to rob you, you turned from hustler to stick up kid.
I wouldn't call it stick up kid.
Extortionist? What would you call it?
I call it goon.
Tracy, the moment he robbed you, turned you into a goon.
Well, he tried to rob me. He wasn't successful. I've never been successfully robbed.
Okay.
No money, no nothing. Like I had a experience where they came and robbed the spot, kicked the door down, bust my Uncle Kenny head, rest in peace, bust his head, put us down on the floor. He put the pistol to my head, and Bushwick was right here, and my little brother jumped out the window. He jumped out the window to save himself, ran down the street, yet I'm laying down there with a pistol to my head, and I thought he was gonna pull it.
I mean, some would consider him to be the smart one, but you made it seem like it was a coward move to save himself.
Well, how would I know if it was a coward move or not? I mean, I'm gonna stay there and die with my brother.
I mean, when I said it though, the reason I said that was because you said he jumped out the window to save himself.
Yeah.
Self-preservation is the first law of nature.
It is.
I would thought that he was the smart one
Right.
to jump out the window.
Right.
He was faster thinking and a little bit more smarter than everybody else that was laid on the floor.
I mean, you can look at it in retrospect like that, but I don't look at it like that at all. As being there, like, I'm gonna die for my brother. And what I believe, he jumped out the window. Okay, he jumped out the window. Did he jump out the window to go get some aid and assistance, to go get somebody? What was his thinking in that matter? Why
Did he run
your
out to
big
get
brother
aid and
is sitting,
assistance?
laying on the ground with a pistol to his head?
Did he run out to get aid and assistance?
I don't know what he went to go do. He ran to my grandmama's house.
So he ran to get aid and assistance.
Who was there?
How would he know if he never went to get aid and assistance? So what I'm trying to get you to understand is that the matter of perspective, right,
Yeah,
is always different.
it is. When you look at things in retrospect, you have to be honest. You got to be real with yourself and what you saw. So, yes, I mean, that caused the schism in my relationship with my brother. You know, we ain't never been the same since that incident right there. That incident took us on divergent paths. You know, we was no longer brothers like we was growing up.
Because he made a conscious decision to save himself.
Yes. Yes.
That scarred you?
Yeah, it scarred me. I thought it was cowardly.
Well, listen. In every situation, right? The only time we know that something that happened, somebody had lived to tell the story.
Right.
Right? So I'm not understanding your train of thinking.
Oh, man, I can just believe that division between me and my little brother when that incident happened, because we was already on alert that individuals wanted to rob us. You know, we was having a lot of money. We was down on 19th and Monroe at this time, and that's the house that they broke into. But that division between me and my brother on that incident, like, I just never looked at him the same after that.
It had to be something deeper than that, because it has to be something deeper than that, because that's something real minute. Because if you had an opportunity and you were already aware and you failed to react.
I didn't fail to react. Kenny was in front of me. My Uncle Kenny was in front of me when they kicked the door down. You know, when they kicked the door down, they kicked it down with such force that Kenny hole back of his head was split open. His whole back of his head was split open. Kenny is 180, 190 pounds. So with my uncle falling on me and falling back, and with 4 cats coming in the house, you know, with semi-automatic rifles, what could I do? I was in no position to do nothing. My brother, he was in a position to do something. He jumped out the window. He
Right.
did what he can do.
He did what he was supposed to do.
I mean,
you held him accountable or for a cowardly act.
right.
But after all this time has passed,
Mm-hmm.
you never found it in your heart to forgive him?
No, I never had that discussion with my little brother. The line's been so scarred, like family ain't the same no more. After doing the 28 years that I did in prison, when I came home, the love wasn't the same. The love wasn't the same.
I mean, y'all had grew apart.
Yeah,
28
everybody
years.
had grew apart. I had did 28 years, and I had went through several different forms of myself as being a man. It was a transformation, just like the butterfly, story. So I went through so many phases with my family. I know who wrote me over them 28 years and who didn't write me. I know how much money was sent. And I guess I'm still holding grudges about that.
Yeah, but have you noticed something about yourself?
But
That you keep track of the small things and hold on to the small things that mean nothing.
right.
You really cared how many people sent you money or didn't write you. You cared about that, right?
Right.
But
Yeah,
who put you there?
I put me there.
So the accountability lies on you, right?
Man, and I've accepted accountability and responsibility for what I did, and I'm trying to move in a different direction and put some positivity out here in the world, man. Like this situation right here with me, it's a story of a million brothers in the joint, because to do 28 years in prison, you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it feels like. I can't tell you about the pain that's wrapped up in them 28 years, or the survival, or the man skills that I learned in there. When I went there, it was gladiator school in '98.
Well, let's talk about what got you there.
Yeah,
Let's go back to the very day your life changed.
right.
Walk us through that.
Man, it was a crazy day. Day I'll never forget, a day that lived in infamy. I can remember waking up that morning. I was staying on 39th and Brown. It was just a normal day. It was ice cold outside. It was like two degrees below zero. So I walked up to my mama's house on 49th and Clark, and I got a call that the guy who had robbed me was in the vicinity. And yeah, that's the day that changed my life.
So your victim had robbed you?
Yeah, we was close. We was close. He had introduced me to a lot of things that we didn't know nothing about, as far as credit cards. We was hustling up on the building on 55th and North Avenue, and that's basically Wauwatosa. It's a suburb of Milwaukee. High influential people, people with money stay there. And he had introduced me to the credit card game as far as selling crack, and that's how we got in together. So I was able with him to leverage more money because they had more money to spend. So I might sell $1,600 worth of dime that day, and that was a good day.
If it was such a good day, how did everything go bad?
It went bad because the greed. When we 17, 18 years old, 19, 20,000 might look like a lot of money to us. I got over $1,000 in my pocket if I spread it out, but if you spread 20,000 out, then like the greed. You know, it's one of the deadly sins. We know that greed, that's where it went wrong. You know, he wanted everything.
He wanted everything or you wanted everything?
No, he wanted everything.
So when you say that, I keep asking you, how did it go bad?
Oh, it went bad. It went bad when the money came up missing. When the money came up missing, I went next door to his mama house, and they offered me some designer guitars, and I should have took the guitars now, because now I know what type of guitar that they was. That Les Paul, the famous Milwaukee guy, they was top of the line. They maybe was 5,000-6,000 a piece, and I should have took them and just killed the beef, but I felt so disrespected that I acted out of violence.
Again,
Yeah,
holding on to the small things.
yeah.
So you move forward, you reacted. Someone ended up dying.
Yes, unfortunately.
You end up getting caught.
Yeah. I eventually got caught. Yeah.
17 years old, at that time facing a life sentence.
Yeah, facing a life sentence. Very scary time for a young fella, man. Facing that justice system, facing white oppression that you know don't care or don't give a fuck about you. It was a very scary time in my life, man. My mom, she was so comforting. But at the same time, you know, my mom's the one who called the police.
Turned you in?
Yeah, she the one who turned me in.
How did that make you feel?
What part?
I mean, your mom turning.
Oh man, it's devastating. That's the second incident in my life where one of my parents told on me. My grandmama called the police on me the first time I went to jail in 1992. I got caught up with 69 rocks and a pistol behind her house. She called the police. They jumped out on me, and I had put the dope in my mouth, and I threw the pistol, and they caught me with the dope, took me out to the hospital, got my stomach pumped. So I done had two incidents in my life where the two women that shaped me and molded me, they told on me.
So were they good law-abiding citizens or just plain old snitches?
Oh man, you know, my grandmama just had such a spiritual side. She kept telling me every day not to go outside, not to sell them packs, not to do this, not to do that. And I was just hard headed. I wasn't listening. There was no father figure around, and I was too big for her to beat on anymore. So she just had to go with the flow.
The judge hit the mallet. How many years?
45.
17 years old, doing 45 years in prison.
Man,
What was your mind frame like?
scared, survival though. Know I was gonna stand on my own too. I knew I had good hands. Uh, I was scared though. When I first walked into that cell hall, 4 stories up, 72 cells on each range. Uh, Nothing like the movies.
Nothing like the movies.
Nothing like the movies, man. When you taking that trip and you know you going to jail, it's a different experience because you know what you headed for. Like I opened up the Supermax in Wisconsin. I was one of the first 12. I made the Milwaukee Journal Signal, Wisconsin's 12 worst inmates. Uh, November 10th, 1999, I opened up Wisconsin Supermax, and it was patent off ADX in Colorado. It's the same build.
If you could take us back to your first day, what was your first night like?
First night was scary. Going up there on the 4th floor, going in that cell, slamming that door, looking at that toilet and that sink. You may walk up to the bars a couple times and listen to what the guy's talking about, but you really can't process nothing because your whole life is in shambles. Your whole life's in shambles. You 17, 18 years old. You a kid in a grown man world now, so you scared. And you got to figure it out quick.
How quick did it take you to adjust?
It took a while. It took a while for me to adjust, but I grew up around gangsters, so it really didn't faze me at all. It really didn't faze me. I was already at a stage that violence was the only option.
So you fit in perfectly.
Yeah, man, I was just an imperfect individual back then. Uh, I had anger issues. I was just a young man, that hadn't been groomed well. If I would have had my daddy, I probably wouldn't have been so violent and hated people so much. So, yeah, it was a scary time.
17 years old.
Yeah.
I imagine you saw some horrific things during your time.
Yeah, man. I think about the officer. I can't remember his name. I remember we was going to rec one day, and one of the guys, he wanted to go back to the federal system because it was so different. The feds and the state was so different. The gangs run the state joints, but in the federal prisons they got a consortium. Like the GDs, BDs, and vice lords. Everybody from the Midwest, we clicked up, and we got rules. But I went up to rec, and he wanted to go back to the feds, and he had a big knife, and man, he stabbed the police like 14 times in his head, like blood gushing out everywhere. Like you got cats on the basketball court, they like, because he for real, he was out to killing.
Was he already doing the life bit?
Yeah, he was already, like, he was smoked, he was fried. His eligibility date was 2200. So he would never live to see it. So he wanted to live his best life. Like the feds, the system is different from the state joints.
When you saw that, did it affect you? And how old were you? And how long had you already been there?
I was like 20-something when that happened, but that wasn't my first time to see knife fights. In the joints, you have knife fights. You have, it's a secret to it. You can use Comet as an abrasive, and you can put it up against any type of metal, wood, whatever, and it'll sharpen your knife. I used to be in the room for hours at nighttime. You would hear cats sharpening their knives. So, like, I had seen violence on epic scales. I mean, when I think about all the stories that I've seen where, guys done got, fucked up real bad, got killed, and etc. No, I remember this guy getting his whole tongue and lip bit off when we was in Walpond in 2005. And they charged him with disfigurement. I think that was probably one of the most, he bit, like I don't know if he was trying to kiss him or what. And that's what makes the story all weird. That he bit this man's lip and tongue off. And we was just in child together, my nigga. And now you done went and bit this man's tongue and his lip off? Like, what's going on? Like, for real, I'm talking about blood. Like, man, the man done bit the man's tongue off. Like, the police screaming. She want to blow the gun and spray everybody with pepper spray. Like, she been, I done seen some out of control situations.
So the penitentiary ain't what us regular civilians may think it is. Huh?
No, man, the penitentiary.
Nothing like the movies at all.
No, it ain't nothing like the movies. The penitentiary is the degradation of America, man. It's where it's sending its people to die. I think Michelle Alexander said in that new Jim Crow that just the thought of America, what's going on in America in its prisons, it's sad, and that's what we're here to try to rectify. That's what we own, a mental health campaign, hold the state and feds accountable how they treating people in there.
Did you ever think you would see the light of day?
No, I didn't. I was carrying it like I had an elbow. I stayed in the hole for 10 years on administrative confinement. They had labeled me a gang leader, and I was no longer gangster disciple at that time. I was growth and development, and I was in my mid-30s. I was in my prime of my life, and now I was living for every day. I didn't ever think I was gonna get out. I wasn't carrying it like that.
And then the day come, they tell you that your time has come.
Man, January 4th, 2023, I stepped out of Sturtevant Transitional Facility. I had did 27 years and 10 months. And when I stepped out to a brand new world.
Because you said prison is nothing like they think it is. But what about the outside world for you? All the things you saw on TV, all the things you dreamed about have become now at your fingertips.
I must say, KB, after doing that 27 years and 10 months, I came home and things weren't how they should be. Everything had changed. Everybody had changed. The game had changed. And everybody done had a 28-year head start on me. And so, man, it's been terrifying. Put it like that. It's been terrifying.
17 years old, never really got a chance to know what love felt like.
Yeah.
So you coming out to the world, falling in love for the first time. What has the relationship been like, or trying to pursue a relationship when you never truly been loved before?
And that's the question. You know, you want somebody to love you in a way that's unconditional, that you feel. And I was in a situation like that. And when you really love a person, you in tune with them, so you can feel their energy. And I felt when things changed. And it's been hard to pursue a relationship, especially when they so much more experienced than you. You know, when I went to the joint, I didn't get a chance to have all these, interactions with all these people. So she was way more experienced than me, and the relationship scene out here, like, it's dead. It's dead.
Well, I just think that you came from a world of structure to a world of chaos.
Right.
And expected things to be orderly when she may have been through 10 or 15
right
guys before you.
Right. Right.
So for you, and you expecting love to be genuine from when you know it was at 17.
Right.
And now you 50 and you thinking it's the same, and it's not.
Right. And it's been disappointing, man. Just disappointing, because you live your life by morals, values, code of ethics. And, stop screaming that Jesus shit if you really ain't about it, Stop screaming that shit. Stop going to church, and then looking up into your partner's face knowing you getting ready to snake him, but you saying that you believe in the Most High, and you believe in heaven and hell, you believe in the devil, and so forth. So it just showed a lack of rectitude, lack of moral clarity for me.
Do you think the system is broken?
Man, the system is most definitely broken. The system is breaking men every day. They breaking men every day. They breaking them physically, emotionally, and psychologically.
Do you think it can be fixed?
No, not at this stage. Uh, if you see all the dilapidated prisons around the country and see the conditions that us as human beings are having our fellow man living under, the system is so broken and so corroded that you just got to tear it all down and start over.
Do you consider yourself to be broken?
Yeah, I consider myself to be broken. I
And
done
you
had I done had some traumatic experiences
and you spent 27 years in a system that you say can't be fixed.
that can't be fixed.
What does that say about you?
It say I'm resilient. You know, that's what I would say about me, KB the playmaker. I'm a resilient. I come from a strong stock. I would say that yes, it was a traumatic experience. Yes, I would say I'm broken because the pain and the losses during them 28 years, me losing Poppy, yeah, it was
Well, I
just
guess the
really
major
hard.
question is I'm trying to ask you, can you be fixed?
I think we all can be fixed. I think we
Well,
all
we're
can
not
be
talking
healed.
about us all. We're talking about 10 G's.
Yeah, well, man, it's gonna take a lot of therapy. It's gonna take a lot of help. You know, I've been reaching out for help. I've been in the community. I've been up to Madison. Uh, yeah, I think I can be healed. I think every man can if he
Do
wants
you
to.
do you have you ever contemplated suicide or giving up, whether you were inside a prison and on the outside?
Man, I was talking to my main man. I think it was yesterday, or maybe it was last night, and I was telling my main man that I don't feel comfortable out here in the world. I don't feel like I belong. So yeah, I contemplate suicide. I I fight with it all the time. Cause death don't frighten me. So I think about it all the time. Yeah.
Death doesn't frighten you, but waking up having to face the world does.
No, when you face that world alone like that in prison, when you done stomped down 28 calendars, uh, it's just a different feeling. It's just a different experience. It's it's all different, man. It's all different.
So sometimes you have to check your mental health.
Man, if we don't check our mental health is so important right now in America. I think we just sleep on it. Like we apathetic to what's really going on. And I can tell you, like, after doing so much time in prison, that there's traumatic effects psychologically that go with that shit that we don't even address. We don't even talk about. We have nobody to communicate it with. Who do you go talk to? You go talk to a doctor. How can she empathize with you just doing 28 years in prison for a crime that she may have been, she might have been one of them jury people that would say, yeah, he deserved life without parole. So you don't ever know what the perspective of the individual will be. So who do you talk to? And that's what we pushing, man. We pushing to all the individuals who done re-enter society. We trying to find us all some help, uh, something that we all can lean on, some financial support, moral support to build a structure, because I know that some of these ignorant outbursts, they be mental health issues. I done seen it time and time again in the joint when a cat getting ready to snap. And he getting ready to snap because, like, shit, he might just miss canteen.
So you've recently become a firm advocate for mental health.
Yes.
You're really standing firm with your fight for it.
Yeah, you got to, man. I see that some of the situations that I've been in, that I done played a part. You know, I must have responsibility for that because I done molded myself into a different individual, and I done came out, and like I said, uh, the individuals that I'm dealing with, they just so more advanced than me, and I'm a hard person. You know, I'm very rigorous, so I done played a part in the relationships, and I done made some very bad decisions. But how could I not? Like, there's no apparatus set up for us to come back to the world to deal with them type of issues, to have somebody advocate for you. There's nobody. Like, the system, it's just broken. And I'm an advocate for mental health because, like I said, you know, all this killing going on and so forth. It's it's reasons behind that.
If you could talk to your 17-year-old self, what would you tell him?
Man, I tell young 10 to slow down. I tell him to slow down, that you can be a man and you can be respected and you don't gotta have no pistol. That you can hold up to situations. You can hold up to situations, that you strong enough, and that you need to think things all the way through. All the way through. I'm talking about you need to be detailed about what you want to do with your life. You need to try to figure it out as early as possible, because if you ain't did it by the time you 30, you ain't gonna be shit. And so when I was young, I I didn't care about dying. I was using guns every day. I loved the sound of guns. I was I was I was an advocate of guns back then. So
America's nightmare.
America's nightmare. Yeah, I was a beast. I really was. I was a savage.
That's where they coined you as the 6-foot Chucky doll.
Yeah, that was my idol, man. You know, we grew up. I was watching Chucky, you know, and I remember my uncle had got into it with some guys. They try to come on the spot and take over the spot. You know, they was on some Chicago shit. You know, they came over with their different colored packs and so forth. And I pulled out my 357, let it go 3 times in the air, and move around. And I always been that authoritative, you know, move around or else or what. That's all. Yeah, that's why they coined me the 6-foot Chucky down, because I get on your ass.
No doubt. What does the future look like for 10 G's?
Man, the future bright, man. The future bright. You know, as long as I stay away from these snakes and, you know, try to put God first. Like I said, I've been struggling with mental health issues, so I struggle with God and the devil every day. So, I done had them talks to myself where in the middle of the night I decided that I don't want to live no more. And when I got up in the morning, I was mad that I was breathing. But now when I get up, it's a new day, it's a new possibility. The future look bright, man.
Well, if I could tell you one thing throughout this conversation, that and the free game that I would give you is to not think small, think big.
Right.
Because you have a pattern of thinking so small.
Right.
Your future look bright, and once you realize that you're him in every situation, that there is nobody bigger, then everything else is small to a giant.
Right. You right, KB. Like, and I know I'm that. And I
You've
know I'm
always
that.
been that.
Yeah, I always been that. And yeah, I done made some mistakes. And that fallacy, I look at it as a learning experience, for the simple fact that I haven't been here before. After doing all these years, I haven't did none of these things. and the relationships didn't work out is because I know I'm a hell of a man. I know I'm a provider, a protector. I know I got certain idiosyncrasies that the bitches don't like, but you can deal with that because I'm a loving teddy bear. But once you get on, the wrong side, you know how that is.
Well, it's almost like nobody likes the police until they need to call the police.
Right.
Nobody needs a gangster in their life until it's time for motherfucker to have to get gangster.
Right.
So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So 10, if people want to try to catch you, how would they go about catching you?
Man, they can go to my Facebook page at 10Gs. They can email me at 10g.wheeler872@gmail. We gonna be trying to push the mental health in Wisconsin. We're gonna go to the legislator and see what we can do when we talking about some real reforms.
And
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Deslin about their mental health campaign going on in Wisconsin. We're gonna do some creative things and try to get the guys some help, man. That's what we really trying to do.
no doubt. Well, man, I want to thank you for taking time out to sit on the couch and share your story.
Man, I appreciate it.
Code Red, where there's smoke,
There's fire.
I'm your host, the Playmaker. And we got the 6 foot Chucky dial, 10 G's.
How y'all doing?
And we out.